Hi guys, welcome back to Totally Magic, and the first of a new series of videos I'm going to be putting out for you called Retro Magic. That's right, I'm going to be looking back over some of the old books over 100 years or less and going through some of the tricks that were published that you can learn yourself. And today's trick is 50 years old. It came out in 1974. Stanton Carlisle is the innovator of this effect, and it was published in this book from Abra, and we're going to perform it with a few little changes, but I show you how the trick is done at the end. If you want more in this series, then do let me know what you think of the idea. So this is how the effect goes. We have two decks of cards. You, sir, hand me any one of those decks. Okay, the red. So you're going to have the red cards. So let's just empty these out. The box is empty, as you can see. And I'd like you to take those cards and give them a shuffle. Now, this is a genuine shuffle by the spectator. They mix up the cards there. Just place them down there. Now, you've left me with the blue cards. So, again, empty. Let's just pop this over here, and I can give these a shuffle, but as you shuffle those, I think it's only fair that you shuffle both packs. Take the cards, and the spectator gives these a genuine shuffle. That's important. They do shuffle the cards. You see, we're both going to choose a card, but in a different way. You see, I want you to choose a card from my pack of blue cards, and I want it to be a totally random choice. So as I push the cards across, remember you shuffled these, so they're in the order that you shuffled. Just call stop at any point. Stop. Stop there. Now, sorry, do you want this one or the one I was about to deal? It's entirely up to you, and it's important to make it clear that you've got an absolute free choice of any of these. You do want this one here, so you want to reject these ones here. Okay, so we'll take this card and place it to one side. If you had carried on, you would have had one of these. If you had dealt a few less, you would have had one of these. But I just want you to be clear that it's an absolute free choice of any card, and you've ended up with this. Now I'm going to do likewise. I'm going to choose a card from your packet of red. Pick up the cards and do the same as me, push them across, and I'm going to call stop. Stop. But unlike you, I'm going to remove my card invisibly. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm a magician. Watch. I'm going to remove the card that I stopped at. We've both chosen a card at random. Let's take a look at yours. You're not going to believe this. Yours is the 9 of spades. You see, the card I chose is also the 9 of spades. You don't believe me? Why would you? The card is invisible. We don't even know where it is. I want you to pick up the deck and deal them face up, counting out aloud those shuffled cards, and I want everyone to look for the 9 of spades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. You've dealt 51 cards, and the card missing, because I removed it, is the 9 of spades. But of course, we need proof. Where is it? Well, remember at the start of the trick, you chose the red cards. You could have chosen the blue cards. Yeah, the box is empty. But I want you to take the red box and shake it. Can you hear that? You're not going to believe this, but the card that I removed invisibly has materialized in here. You see, if we have a look, there's one card and one card only in the box. Surely it can't be. And it is the matching 9 of spades. So welcome to this tutorial for this great effect. Now this is 50 years old. It was published in Abra back in 1974. It was the innovation of Stanton Carlisle, and it was called the Zenith card prediction. Now I have done a couple of changes to this, and I'll explain as we go, but you can see the effect even 50 years on still is on par with tricks that you buy today. So let me go through it. First of all, 2 decks of cards. They're not as they seem. You see, one deck of these allows you to force the card onto the spectator. Now Stanton used a rough and smooth deck, and you can perform this with the rough and smooth because you need to force a card. That's what the whole effect is about. Now the way that this was forced, I've got a rough and smooth deck here, but this uses a certain chemical on them that causes 2 cards to stick together like this. Okay, now you can use other methods of forcing a card. If you're a card expert, you can have a regular pack and force a card onto the spectator. In my case, it's the 9 of spades. So as I go through, they do get a choice of any card apparently, and because this rough and smooth deck is fairly new, I'm confident in allowing them to do an overhand shuffle. They can't do a riffle shuffle, but they can do an overhand shuffle, and the pairs of cards stay together. Remember that the way they separate, just no pressure on them, separates, and you're forcing that card there. Okay, but when they're together, a little bit of pressure, they stay together. That's the rough and smooth. So that's the first part. You force a card onto them. On the other pack that you want them to have, and you probably guessed that at the start when I asked them to give me a deck, if they give me the blue deck, that's fine. I start with those, and the red deck, as long as the red deck goes to them. And all that I do is I take the matching card out of here, push it into the box, and just turn the flap down on here. Now Stanton uses an envelope. He actually puts a prediction in a sealed envelope at the start of the trick. You might prefer that, so you have a prediction to one side, but I like this appearing in the box effect. So we put that in there. The rest of the cards, 51 cards, go into the box. These are all done. You force the packs. You tip these out. Now as you tip these out, the 9 is held back by this, and I just put this down like that. Now watch what happens when I move the box. If I squeeze here, the flap comes out and I can move it to one side. That allows me to have the card heard when the box is shaken up. Okay, just pick it up, drop it to one side. Remember, at the start of the trick, the spectator has no idea these are going to come into play later on, so they don't want to examine them. They saw you tip the cards out, it's an empty box. The trick is as you saw. You force the 9 of spades onto a spectator. You then pretend to take a card from the pack, and it vanishes and appears in the box. That is the whole effect. But as I said, it comes from the Abra book of 1974, January, and it's Stanton Carlisle is the trick that I've used from there. If you want to see more of these tricks, and as regular viewers will know, I have a huge collection of old magic books that I grew up with before the days of internet and video and streaming. We had to read books. So if you want to see more of these, I'll go through some of the old books from the 1920s, 30s and 40s and perform some more magic. Let me know in the comments. Till next time, practice and enjoy.